What you're seeing here is footage of an Israeli tank entering the border crossing in Rafah in southern Gaza. This happening in the midst of an Israeli operation that reportedly has led to the taking over of the Rafah checkpoint by Israeli occupational forces, meaning that the IOF now functionally controls every checkpoint that allows entry and exit from Gaza. And in the midst of that operation, we're also seeing Israeli occupational forces intensifying their attacks against Palestinians in southern Gaza, with widespread bombings that have been reported that have killed countless Palestinians. It's critical to note that this is happening after Palestinian resistance groups agreed to a ceasefire proposal that would have led to the release of all Israelis that are currently being held captive by these groups and simultaneously end the ongoing genocide in Gaza. Upon hearing that news of Palestinian resistance groups accepting these terms, the Israeli government promptly turned down the offer entirely, opting instead to increase military operations in southern Gaza. There are a lot of reasons as to why that is. The driving reason likely is that Netanyahu and his coalition partners likely won't survive the moment this genocide comes to an end. In effect, the Netanyahu administration is acting in part out of self-preservation to continue this genocide, and in part as a means to advance what have been long-standing colonial goals of the Zionist project. As a result of those decisions, however, and the ongoing actions of Israeli occupational forces, the lives of millions are currently hanging in the balance in the concentration camp that is the Gaza Strip. Rafah alone has well over 1 million Palestinians, many of whom have fled to the area as a result of the ongoing displacement and ethnic cleansing campaigns that we've seen perpetrated by Israeli occupational forces across the rest of Gaza. And now that area is increasingly likely to be invaded, not just through bombardment in the air, but through a possible ground invasion. And already the scenes that we're seeing on the ground, the videos and photos that we're receiving are so horrific that I am honestly struggling to comprehend what I've seen. I have seen videos of Palestinian civil service workers putting pieces of corpses into bags, unrecognizable, utterly people who are now unidentifiable as a result of the harm that has been brought to them as the result of Israeli military actions. I saw a child whose neck was gashed open, missing the lower part of what I assume to be their jaw, dead as a result of this bombardment. All of that to say, we are likely to witness an intensification of what has already been an incredibly brutal genocide being waged against the people of Palestine, the people of Gaza. That being said, I don't mean to sound defeatist. I still have a level of revolutionary optimism that leads me to believe that Palestinians will attain liberation and that the colony that has been oppressing them and colonizing them for so long will collapse inevitably under a mixture of external pressures and its own internal contradictions. It's just unfortunate that in the process of that collapse, in the process of that unraveling, in the process of that fight for liberation, so many people are suffering. But yeah, just some things worth thinking about, I think. As always, free Palestine. Assalamu alaikum. Until next time.